Who is Noam Chomsky? Noam Chomsky was an intellectual prodigy who went on to earn a Ph.D. in linguistics of the University of Pennsylvania, since 1955. He has been a professor at MIT and has produced groundbreaking, controversial theories on human linguistic capacity. Chomsky is widely published both on topics in his field and on issues of design and U.S. foreign policy. Early life and education. Noam Chomsky was a brilliant child, and his curiosity and intellect were greatly by his early experience. Born in Philadelphia on December 7, 1928, Chomsky followed the wake of America's Great Depression. He was raised with a younger brother, David, and although his own family was middle class, he witnessed injustice all around him. One of his earliest memories consisted of watching security officers beat human strikers outside of a textile plant. His mother, Elsie, had been active in the radical politics of the 1930s. His father, William, a Russian Jewish immigrant like his mother, was a respected professor of Hebrew at Grade College, an institution for teacher training. At the age of 10, while attending a progressive school that emphasized student self-actualization, Chomsky wrote an editorial on the rise of fascism in Europe after the Spanish Civil War for his school newspaper. Rather amazingly, his story was substantially researched and not to be the basis for a later essay. He was present at New York University. By the age of 13, Chomsky was traveling from Philadelphia to New York, spending much of his time listening to the disparate perspective has out among adults over key grades and magazines at his uncle's newsstand at the back of a 72th Street subway exit. Chomsky greatly admired his uncle, a man of little formal education, but someone who was widely smart about the world around him. Chomsky's current political views spring from this type of life experience stance, positing that all people can understand politics and economics and make their own decisions, and the authority ought to be tested before being deemed legitimate and worthy of power.
The scholar, just as World War II was coming to a close, Chomsky began his studies at the University of Pennsylvania. He found little use for his classes until he met Zelig S. Harris, an American scholar touted for discovering structural linguistics, or breaking language down into distinct parts of levels. Chomsky was moved by what he felt language could reveal about society. Harris was moved by Chomsky's great potential and did much to advance the young man's undergraduate studies, with Chomsky receiving his B.A. and M.A. in non-traditional modes of study. Harris introduced Chomsky to Harvard mathematician Nathan Fine and philosophers Nelson Goodman and W. V. Quinn. Although an industrious student of Goodman's, Chomsky drastically disagreed with his approach. Goodman believed the human mind was a blank slate, whereas Chomsky believed the basic concepts of language were innate in every human's mind and then only influenced by one's syntactical environment. His 1951 master's thesis was titled "The Morphonemic of Modern Hebrew". In 1949, Chomsky married educational specialist Carol Sachs, a woman he had no science childhood. The relationship lasted for 59 years until she died from cancer in 2008. They had three children together. For a short time, between Chomsky's master's and doctoral studies, the couple lived on kibbutz in Israel. When they returned, Chomsky continued and at the University of Pennsylvania and executed some of his research and writing at Harvard University. His dissertation eventually explored several ideas that he would soon lie in on of his best-known book on linguistic synthetic structure, 1957.
Linguistic revolutions. In 1955, the professorial staff at Massachusetts Institute of Technology invited Chomsky to join their ranks. Now a professor emeritus, he worked in the school's Department of Linguistics and Philosophy for half a century before returning from active in teaching in 2005. He has also been a visiting professor or lecturer at a range of other universities, including Columbia, UCLA, Princeton, and Cambridge, and held honorary degrees from countless others throughout the world. During his career as a professor, Chomsky introduced transformational grammar to the linguistic fields. His theory assumed that languages are innate and that the differences we see are only due to parameters developed over time in our brains, helping to explain why children are able to learn different languages more easily than adults. One of his most famous contributions to linguistics is what his contemporaries have called the Chomsky hierarchy, a division of grammar into groups, moving up or down in their expressive abilities. This idea have had ramifications in fields such as modern psychology and philosophy, both answer and raising questions about human nature and how we process information. Chomsky's writings on linguistics include "Current Issues in Linguistic Theory", "Aspects of the Theory of Syntax", "The Sound Pattern of English" with Maurice Hill, "Language and Mind", "Studies on Semantics in Generative Grammar", and "Knowledge of Language".